Welcome to this video on powers and roots. So what are powers and roots? Okay, well, powers, we're not talking about superpowers. Roots, we're not talking about me. So a power is how many times a number is multiplied by itself. So, in other words, if we write 2 like this and put a 2 there, we already know from the last video that means 2 squared. So that 2 means we are multiplying 2 by 2, obviously, which will give us 4. Don't we need to worry about the answer particularly. Right, what about if we wrote 2 cubed? So that would be 2 times 2 times 2, which would be 8, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Now, that is 2 squared, 2 cubed. We could also call that 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3. So 2 to the power 4 would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And you've always got to look for shortcuts in maths. So to work that out, we already know what 2 to the power 3 is 8. So we're just going to multiply that by 2, which will give us 16. So 2 to the power 5 would be 5 2's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Of course, not 5 2's, not 5 times 2, but 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16, times 2, which is 32. So, the power, how many times a number is multiplied by itself? So, 2 to the power 2 is 2 times 2. So, without even needing to work these out, we could go 4 to the power 4 would be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. We're not going to worry about the fact that that is 156, I believe. So I said we weren't going to worry about that, so I obviously did get worried. So if we did 4 to the power 9, definitely not going to work that out. It's 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times, going to lose count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to have to count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You may be wondering what the point of all these powers is. Good question. I think if I tell you this is an approximation, but there's a number in chemistry which is called a mole, and approximately it's equal to 6 times 10 to the power 23. So that's what a good use of powers, because we're not going to write 6 and then write 23 zeros after it. So that's sort of giving an idea what the point of powers, why we use powers when we're writing things. And obviously the power 10 is the most important thing. So if we're writing, so for example, 1,000 is, so 1,000 could be written 10 to the power 3. Okay. 2,000 could be written 2 times 10 to the power 3, because it's 2 multiplied by 10, multiplied by 10, multiplied by 10, which equals 2,000. Right, I'm not going to do any more. We're going a bit beyond the scope of what we need to know for primary school. So let's get rid of that. Right, what about a root? And again, we're not going to do much about roots, even though obviously roots are very important. Okay, so the root is how many times, okay, so how many times, excuse the writing, so how many times the root has been multiplied to get the number. And the pen is running out. Okay, so how many times the root has been multiplied to get the number? So in other words, if we write, the most common one is a square root. We don't need to put a 2 there. You could put a 2 there, but it's not done. So 16, square root of 16 means that the root, which is 4, has been, or the square root has been multiplied twice, okay? So the cube root of 8 means that whatever the number is, which you can't really work out without a calculator, is 2 times 2 times 2 will give you 8. So that means the cube root of 8 is 2 because there are 3. So if I just write that without a number, it means a square root. So for example, as you know from the times table, I ate and I ate till I was sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. So the square root of 64 equals 8. Right, I'm not going to do anything else actually on square roots and cube roots and things like that because it's pretty much beyond the primary school syllabus, which is what we're concentrating on in these videos. So we're now going to move to a few little test questions. So just clear the board off. So hopefully I've explained it well enough to give you a chance to answer these questions. So as usual, as soon as I start writing, you can start trying to answer the questions. There's going to be 6 questions, 4 powers and 2 roots. So first question, 5 squared equals. Second question, 8 squared equals. Third question, 2 cubed equals, question mark. Next question, 3 cubed equals. Right, so that's the questions on the powers. Let's go through those and then we'll do 2 questions on roots. So 5 squared, hopefully you got this one, is 5 times 5, which means it's 25. 8 squared, got a 2 there, so that means it's 8 times itself, which means 64. 2 cubed, which means you have to have 3 2's. 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. 3 cubed, you have to have 3 3's. So 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Right, so the last 2 questions are going to be on roots. So we've got square root of 16, and then we're going to do the, just going to change that round. We're going to do the cube root of 8. Okay, so square root of 16. What number would you multiply itself to give 16? Multiply by itself to give 16. So obviously you need to know your factors and your times tables. You would know that 4 times 4 gives 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. The cube root of 8. What number do you need to multiply by itself? Then multiply by itself again to give 8. So 2, if you multiply it by 2, you get 4. Times it by 2 again, you get 8. So in other words, we don't need all that there. The cube root of 8 is 2. So I hope you did well in that quiz. If not, watch the video again and see if you can work out how you should have been doing it. If you watch the video again and still can't work it out, then get in touch and tell us that our videos are rubbish. Thanks very much. Thank you for watching that video. And if you enjoyed that, please check out our website for more great online resources. So the address is www.routes2success11plus.uk, or find us on Twitter @routes2success. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos. Thank you.